It is a fact that the left wing is more violent than the right wing right now. It is a fact. I know everything you've heard about Charlottesville, but let me tell you some things that you haven't heard. Okay? The Nazi assholes have a right to peaceably assemble and protest. All Nazis have this fucking right. Just as all leftists, all anybody who wants to protest anything has the right in this country to peaceably assemble and protest. The mayor of Charlottesville tried to deny the right of the Nazis to protest, or the constitutionalists, the conservatives, the alt-right, whatever the fuck. There's varying degrees of beliefs and certain differences between everybody who was there. But whatever, the alt-right, the Nazis, whatever you want to call them, have a right to peaceably assemble. And then the left shows up and starts riots. But here's the thing. The mayor tried to say, no, you can't protest, which is illegal. And the ACLU had to step in and say, you can't tell them they can't do that. So then the mayor said, well, then I won't provide police and you have to fend for yourselves. And people had to come in and tell the mayor, no, you can't do that. The police have to show up. But just like in Berkeley, every single time for the last 3 Berkeley riots, the mayor ordered the police to stand down. See, here's the way a protest and a counter-protest is supposed to go down. There's supposed to be 2 zones. The protesters go here, the counter-protesters go here, and then there's a demilitarized zone between them. And any attempt to cross it into the zone that should be filled with fucking riot police results in immediate arrest. Okay? This is the way protests are supposed to happen. This was not allowed to happen on purpose because of the illegal intervention of the mayor of Berkeley and the mayor of Charlottesville. And the blood is on their hands because they operated these situations illegally and told law enforcement not to do their jobs. Okay? And here's another thing. Before the social justice warrior advent of 2014 to 2015, nobody gave a shit about Confederate statues or Nazi flags or Confederate flags or any of this stupid bullshit, because we had lived in a largely post-racial, properly politically correct society. We tried to treat each other in an egalitarian and meritocratic way where everybody was equal, what the left is currently lying about supporting. No. Now it's either you're left wing or you're a Nazi, and if you're a Nazi, you deserve to die. You have no idea how many times I've read on social media left-wing people wishing death and bodily harm and threatening death and bodily harm on Nazis. Nobody should like Nazis. Nobody should agree with Nazis. But Nazis have the same rights we do as citizens. This is what equality means. They have the right to peaceably assemble and do their stupid bullshit protests. Okay? But we have lived in a society for more than the past couple of years that has normalized rampantly anti-white racism, sexism towards men. And this has caused so many people to flee the left in droves. And this is because of the fault not of liberals, but of progressives, feminists, and communists. These are evil people. These are people who are no better than Nazis because they're bigots, they're racists, they're sexists, and they're authoritarians, just like Nazis. Okay, they're no better. But, unfortunately, the communists, the progressives, and the feminists have completely taken over society. Probably because white people have never felt particularly threatened, and all these people can scream all this shit about white people, and white people just go on and live their lives. And you know what? For the past 30 years, there hasn't really been any systemic racism or anything. Alright? We've had a culture that has welcomed and even promoted black culture and Jew culture and all this shit. And everybody was getting along in the 90s and the early 2000s. But now it's all white people are evil. All white people are subhuman. And we have people screaming on social media, this is all white people's fault. Well, a lot of us decided to stop being progressives. A lot of us decided to even stop being liberals. A lot of us became conservatives. Many of us became anti-social justice warriors, whether we stayed liberal or moved to the right or whatever. And some people decided that, you know what? I have a right to exist. I don't deserve to be marginalized and systematically abused in the way that white people actually have been over the past decade. And so these people decided to do their rallies and shit. But the fact of the matter is, every single time at one of these counter-protests, that the violence has broke out, it's because Antifa, left-wing people, the Black Bloc, anarcho-fucking-socialists went and started attacking people, started macing people, started throwing explosives at people, started throwing tear gas at people. And the police did nothing, because the government ordered the police to not do their jobs. The policemen of Charlottesville, North Carolina should be ashamed. The policemen and law enforcement of Berkeley, California are shameful and dishonorable and disgusting. But what's even more disgusting is that none of them could possibly ever say anything about this, or they'd lose their jobs, because that's what the left do. If they can't physically hurt you, they will go after your job. They will go after your family. They will try to make sure that you can't fucking ever work again. They will do everything to harm you. The left is a culture of violence. I have to say this as a liberal because it's a fact. The left is a culture of violence. And it is no small wonder that there's groups of Nazis, constitutionalists, libertarians, whatever, who have to constantly speak out, okay? And it's unfortunate that some small fucking margin of the people who are disturbed and attacked by the left choose violence, because nobody should choose violence. But how normal is it to say, you know, Nazis deserve to die? I don't care. Punch a Nazi. And who's a Nazi? Whoever I call a Nazi. Everyone to the right of Karl Marx is a Nazi. Liberals get the bullet too. You have to realize that it's all a sham. It's all a lie. It's all an authoritarian ploy. And nothing's being done about it. Fuck, you even got Trump in the office and nothing can be done about it. It's a fucking disaster. But how can you? Because the news will promote every single violent thing that some right-wing fucker does and refuse to report on anything the left does. There was a hell of a lot more than one car attack and one helicopter malfunction that happened in Charlottesville. But you'll never hear about it, because the media is worthless. And biased anyways. It's disgusting. This is all the left's fault. Thanks for watching.